This tutorial is for 3rd grade Module 5, Lesson 10. In this lesson, we're going to start comparing fractions, and we're using a visual model here. The directions told us to shade in one fractional unit in each strip, knowing that each strip represents one whole. So I went ahead and did that. I colored in 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/3, and 1/6. Something to notice here is the smaller the number of our denominator, the larger the piece, which makes sense. If I'm taking a whole and only dividing it into 2 pieces, those pieces are going to be larger than if I take a whole and divide it into, let's say, 8 pieces. That results in a smaller piece. So that's a fraction concept to keep in mind as we compare our fractions. Down here it says to circle less than or greater than. So 1/2 is being compared to 1/4. And you can see where 1/2 falls as compared to 1/4. So 1/2 is greater than 1/4. Next, we're going to compare 1/6 to 1/2. So here's my 1/6 piece. And again, it has a larger denominator, and so it's going to be smaller than my 1/2. And so we'll say 1/6 is less than 1/2. In the next question, I'm comparing 1/3 to 1/2. So here again is my 1/2, and here's 1/3. So 1/3 is less than 1/2. And finally, I'm comparing 1/3 to 1/6. Those are right above each other, and you can see clearly that 1/3 is greater than 1/6. We're going to continue with our comparisons with the next questions. The first question says Lily needs 1/3 cup of oil and 1/4 cup of water to make muffins. Will Lily use more oil or more water? And we're to draw the cups of oil and water to explain our answer. I'm going to start by writing an answer statement so I know what the goal of the question is. So it asks, will Lily use more oil or more water? So we'll say Lily will use more blank because, and we'll have to fill in that because section once we figure out our answer. The key here is they both start with 1 cup of a liquid. So I have to draw 2 identical wholes to make sure that we're comparing parts of the same whole. So we'll call this one the cup of oil, and here 1 cup of water. So that's what the whole represents. Now she only uses 1/3 cup of oil, so we'll divide the oil cup into 3 pieces and shade in 1/3. She uses 1/4 cup of water, so we'll divide that into 4 pieces and shade in 1/4. And we can see that 1/3 is greater than 1/4. So Lily will use more oil because 1/3 cup is more than 1/4 cup. And my last question asks me to compare the fractions by looking at their unit forms. Like we said earlier, if a whole is divided into a smaller number of pieces, that means that those pieces will be bigger than if it's divided into a greater number of pieces. So if I have a whole cut into 3 pieces, each piece is going to be bigger than if I had a whole cut into 5 pieces. So 1/3 is greater than 1/5. Here I have 1/7, so I've taken a whole and I've divided it into 7 pieces, compared to taking that same whole and dividing it into 4 equal pieces. Well, those fourths are going to be greater than the sevenths because we've divided the whole into a fewer number of pieces. So 1/7 is less than 1/4.